I'm going to wait a little bit before we begin the stream, let people hop on. If you are just joining us, thank you. I appreciate it. Go ahead and drop a comment where you're watching from. All right, hello and happy Monday, everyone. I am digital content producer Jacob Fife, and I'm here live at the WHSV First Alert Desk. So back in the day, before digital cameras came around, the only way to take a photo was either using a roll or sheet of film. Now, the way this worked is you would go out and buy, like I said, a roll or sheet of film. You would load it up into a camera, take either 24, 36 exposures for popular formats like 35 millimeter, and then you would actually have to rewind the film without exposing it to light, and then you would take it off to a lab. They would develop it for you, and then they would print usually little 4x6 postcard looking sheets, and then you would have your photos. And that was the way it was done for over 100 years. Now, in the early 2000s, once digital cameras came around, film kind of lost popularity. I believe it was 2004, 2005 was actually the peak year for film photography, and then digital completely took over, and film, for all intents and purposes, died. That was until a few years ago when film started seeing a resurgence. Now, a lot of people said that the pandemic kind of forced people to look for new ways to self-express, and one of the ways they did that is by getting into film photography. Now, there also used to be a lot of film labs everywhere. You had little 1-hour photo marts, you had shops everywhere, pharmacies, drugstores, camera shops, everywhere selling film products. But now, in the Valley, we're down to just one, and that is King Photo here in Harrisonburg. Now, I went and spoke with the owner of King Photo in Harrisonburg, Alan Showalter, and he told me a little bit about what they do to keep this medium, this format, alive.
I'm the owner of the King Photo store here in Harrisonburg in Waynesboro, and I guess you could say owner-operator. I'm in the store quite a bit. So the original King was King Drug Supply, and it started in 1898 in Raleigh, North Carolina.
How important was film photography before digital came around?
Well, as the only way to really, preserve visual memories, really important. 2004, still the high watermark for the amount of film shot. There was still, Kodak was a top 10 largest company in the United States. Had one of the most profitable products made by anybody. So it was the way. Off of film you had X-rays and movie production and things like that. So until digital came along, film was the answer. At one time there were 34 1-hour labs in the same markets that we covered up and down the Valley. Of course, now there's actually only one King Photo here in Harrison. At our Valley Mall store, a busy day was 275 rolls of film. They're a busy week now with only one store left is 275 rolls of film. So it's quite the difference.
So would you say here recently that film's making a comeback, not just globally, but here in the Valley?
Yes, yeah. First of all, there's a whole generation that enjoy shooting film. It's fun. It's a more interesting and creative way of self-expression than to tap a little spot on the back of your phone. And you're certainly more involved with your images. You can see things in a different way than digital sees them. This is why Steven Spielberg and any of a number of Hollywood directors and producers insist that the movie companies made a deal with Eastman Kodak to continue to produce film stock, movie film stock. Single-use cameras are very popular with young adults, 18 to 25 or so. They're fun. They may have first experienced them on the table at a wedding reception or just when they were small kids, and there's very little downside to using them. If they take a very good picture, You don't have to worry about if you take it to the beach or the pool or whatever, something bad happens, you're out, a few dollars. And again, it's a means of self-expression that the digital camera just doesn't quite offer. Well, we offer color print film processing. That's the process C41, by far the most popular color print film process. And we do that for every format of film up to 4x5 sheet film. We do 35 millimeter and 120 and 220 and all of those, even the old 110s and 126s we can still process and print. We scan negatives and slides and prints in virtually every size, all the way up to 40 by 60 inches. We can make a digital file of your photos. We also transfer movie film to digital. We transfer videotapes to digital. Virtually any common color photo service, we've got a way to do it, and we'll do it for you. What makes film special to me? First of all, it's my family history. My father was the first in our family to have the idea to get into the film processing business. He was able to convince my grandfather that we should do that. They sold their dairy cows and converted the milking parlor into a photo lab. I played in the boxes that the equipment came in as a 5-year-old. So I am 58 years into the film processing life. It's virtually everything we have that we own, we bought with the profits from selling film and film processing. So it's special to me from that standpoint. There's also a look to images that are recorded on film versus digital that digital just can't quite master. Highlight detail is better on film. It's more forgiving of blemishes than digital. It's a means of self-expression that I hope won't go away just because it's a little less convenient and maybe a little more expensive.
All right, so I hope you all enjoyed this digitally exclusive report. For all of those of you watching, I very much appreciate it. I see a few comments here, people watching from various places around the valley. Thank you all once again. Anyone out there that might be into film photography, I would love to hear your experiences or maybe some of the favorite photos that you have taken on film. Being a film shooter myself, it's really easy to get attached to your film images. Kind of like Alan was saying, you really develop a connection with them, unlike you do digitally to an extent. But stay tuned for another digitally exclusive report later this week. I will definitely post a few updates before we go live with that. So, working hard for you, I'm Jacob Fife. Thank you for watching.